Welcome to The Deep Dive. We're the show that takes stacks of complex source material and boils it down into, well, insights you can actually use right away. Today, we're diving into something pretty fascinating, the short-term rental market, STRs. Specifically, we're looking at Kavala in northern Greece as a kind of case study. We've gone through this really comprehensive guide called Maximizing Average Daily Rate in Kavala. But our mission today isn't just about Kavala or even just about holiday rentals. It's about pulling out the core strategies for understanding and, crucially, optimizing average daily rate ADR. And you'll see why focusing on ADR is, frankly, a game changer. It applies whether you're interested in tourism economics, property management, or really any business where perceived value matters. This specific market, Kavala, it turns out, holds some pretty universal truths. Okay, so let's get right into it. The guide makes this kind of surprising argument, ADR over just high occupancy. Now, instinctively, you'd think, right, just fill the beds, keep it book solid. So what exactly is average daily rate, and why is it potentially more important than just having guests in there every single night?
Yeah, that's a great place to start because it really pushes against that common wisdom. ADR, average daily rate, is actually pretty simple. It's just the average cash you bring in for each night that's actually occupied. So you calculate it, total rental revenue divided by the number of nights booked in a period. But the core argument in our source material is very strong. Focusing only on hitting high occupancy numbers can push you into what they call a race to the bottom on price. Constantly cutting rates just to get heads in beds.
A race to the bottom, right? So you're busy, but maybe not profitable.
Exactly. The guy gives a really good example. Let's picture two properties, maybe near a beach like Nia Araklitsa. Property A hits, say, 90% occupancy. Impressive, right? But because their whole focus is filling nights, their rate is only 40 euro. Over a month, that's what, the 1,000 EDRE.
Okay.
Now, property B, it's only got 70% occupancy, so fewer nights booked, but they've managed to get a higher rate, say 60 euros a night. So property B, even with more empty nights, actually pulls in 12,260 euros a month.
Wow, okay. So earning more with less occupancy. That really does flip the script. And I guess the guide also mentions the other benefits. Less wear and tear, maybe? Fewer cleaning bills?
Precisely. Property B doesn't just earn more upfront revenue. It has lower operating costs, less cleaning, less maintenance, potentially happier neighbors. All that adds up to better net profit. So the big takeaway here is that smart pricing, strategic value, not just constant bookings, that's what really drives better returns.
Makes sense.
And this naturally leads to the question, how does the specific market, like Kavala, actually influence this? What allows for that kind of strategic pricing?
Yeah, that's where it gets really interesting, looking at the local details. How do things like the seasons or even the specific neighborhood within the Kavala region create different opportunities for boosting that ADR? Can't be the same everywhere, can it? Oh, absolutely not. And the guide really highlights these distinct seasonal dynamics in the Kavala area. Property managers who get this, they can really capitalize. So you got the peak season, June to August. That's prime time for beach spots like Neaparamos, New Araklitsa. Demand is huge. The guide actually quantifies it. Properties near the beach, maybe with a sea view, can see their ADR jump by 40 to 60%. That's massive.
40 to 60%, just for being near the beach in summer.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the prime time to make hay, as they say. But what about when summer cools off?
Right. Then you transition into the shoulder season. Think April, May, September, October. The weather's still great, maybe even better for exploring. And this is when archaeological tourism really picks up. You've got the ancient theater in Kavala, Philippi, nearby UNESCO site. The guide points out that these cultural tourists, they often have slightly higher budgets, and they'll pay a premium for good quality places that make their historical trip better.
Interesting. Different type of tourists, different priorities. Exactly. And then you get into the off-season, November to March. Even then, there are opportunities. Business travelers, maybe linked to Kavala's port. Winter cultural tourists, too. Properties near the business district, the source says, can keep a pretty stable ADR with corporate bookings. It shows you can find demand year-round if you know where to look.
That's smart. It really encourages thinking beyond just summer. And it's not just the time of year, right? The guide also talked about specific locations, like micro markets.
Yes, definitely. It breaks down different areas. Like Kavala city center itself, you've got the historic charm, maybe views of the fortress, proximity to everything. These kinds of properties, the guide suggests, can command higher rates pretty much year-round because of that unique appeal and convenience.
Okay, the classic city appeal. What about the beach towns?
Well, in Nia Araklitsa, the guide is very clear. Beach proximity is king. It even puts a number on it. Properties within, say, 200 meters of the beach, they can get 30 to 50% higher ADR in summer than places further back.
Wow, 200 meters makes that much difference. People really want to step onto the sand.
They really do. Then you have somewhere like Paleosifliki. It's got more of a rural, traditional vibe. The guide notes that authenticity, maybe traditional architecture, appeals to guests looking for that specific kind of Greek experience. That supports premium pricing for a different niche.
Right, targeting a different kind of traveler.
And finally, Nia Paramos. It's mentioned as being really popular with families, maybe larger groups. So for properties there, the guide suggests things like bigger spaces, maybe a BBQ area, garden amenities that cater to groups, help achieve higher ADR because you're offering specific value for them.
That makes total sense.
Yeah.
Tailoring the offer.
And if you pull back, you see the pattern, right?
Yeah.
Understanding these little micro markets, these specific demand drivers within a region.
Yeah.
That's absolutely critical for smart pricing, not just in Kavala, really anywhere.
Okay, so we understand the why ADR is important, how local factors influence it.
Yeah.
Now the how. If you're managing a property there or somewhere similar, how do you actually do this? How do you put it into practice? It sounds like more work than just setting a price.
Oh, it definitely requires active management. The guide outlines several key techniques. One big one is dynamic pricing. Kavala, like a lot of places, has events, big ones, small ones, and these massively impact demand. The guide is really strong on this point. It says, ignoring Kavala's event calendar, things like the Kavala Air Sea Show in July, the Philippi Festival, wine festivals, even religious holidays, is basically just leaving money on the table.
Right, so you need to know what's coming up way in advance.
Exactly. Proactive monitoring. The guide suggests looking 6, even 12 months ahead. So dynamic pricing isn't just a buzzword. It's tied directly to the calendar. That's how you make it practical.
That's a really actionable insight. Plan way ahead based on local events. What else? Amenities must play a big role.
Huge role. And the guide talks about an amenity investment strategy specifically tailored to the region. Climate is key in northern Greece. So July, August. Air conditioning isn't a nice to have, it's essential. The guide actually estimates you could lose 20–30% on your ADR in peak summer without AC.
20 to 30%. Just for lacking AC. Wow. And I bet heating is just as vital in the winter. People might not expect northern Greece to get cold.
You're right. The guide emphasizes proper heating for the cooler months is crucial if you want year-round bookings. And then there are the regional specifics, those sea view balconies we talked about, nice outdoor spaces, maybe traditional design touches. These things resonate, they add perceived value, and that justifies a higher rate.
Okay, so invest wisely in the right amenities for the climate and the desired experience. What about the guests themselves?
That's the next big piece, target market segmentation. The guide makes it clear, different people visiting Kavala value different things and have different price sensitivities, just like anywhere else, really.
So like those archaeological tourists you mentioned earlier, they might pay more for proximity to sites?
Exactly. The guide suggests they often spend a bit more overall and really value that easy access to history. Beach vacationers, maybe they prioritize space, easy parking, stuff for kids. They'll pay for convenience. Business travelers, maybe coming from the port, they need reliability, good Wi-Fi, a professional feel. Cultural tourists might look for something really authentic, maybe outside the peak season, and value local tips.
It's about knowing who you're trying to attract and what they specifically value.
Precisely. And that leads to the next practical question the guide tackles. How do you actually use tools and, sort of, local intelligence to implement all these strategies? Knowing what to do is one thing, but the execution.
Yeah, because managing dynamic prices, different guest segments, tracking events, manually, that sounds like a nightmare. So what about the tools? How does tech help here?
Tech is crucial, and the guide is pretty specific. Revenue management systems are presented as almost essential. These systems help you analyze competitors, see what similar places in Nia Iraklitsa or Nia Paramos are actually charging in real time. That's huge. They also help with demand forecasting, looking at past data, events to predict future bookings, and many offer automated pricing, adjusting your rates based on occupancy, competitor moves, demand signals.
So it's like having a data analyst working for you constantly. That must make a massive difference to ADR. What about handling platforms like Airbnb, Booking.com, Vrbo?
That falls under channel management. The guide points out that different platforms often attract different crowds. Maybe business travelers favor Booking.com, while leisure travelers browse Airbnb more. So you can tailor your strategy, maybe even your pricing slightly, per channel. But here's a key tip from the guide. Encourage direct bookings.
Cutting out the middleman.
Exactly. Setting up your own simple booking website. Why? Because you skip the commission fees, which can be substantial. The source estimates this alone can boost your effective ADR by 10 to 20%.
10 to 20% just by avoiding commissions. That's a huge win, straight to the bottom line.
It really is. And alongside using tech, the guide stresses understanding your competition. Kavala's market is diverse, old town charm, modern apartments, beachfront places, rural retreats. Knowing who you're up against, what they offer, how they price is vital.
You need that context. And the guide mentioned something about pricing psychology too, specific to the Greek market.
Yeah, pretty nuanced point. It suggests different tourist groups react differently. For example, domestic tourists from Greece might be more price sensitive, often looking for family deals, and they might book more last minute.
Okay, so maybe you have flash deals for them.
Potentially.
Yeah.
Whereas international tourists often book further out, might be less price sensitive for unique properties, and really value clear professional communication.
Right.
And then you have regional visitors, maybe driving from Thessaloniki or Athens for a weekend. They often accept premium rates for convenience and a nice, easy getaway. Understanding these tendencies helps you tailor your pricing and your communication.
It's fascinating how granular it gets. But it's clearly not just about the numbers and the tech, is it? What about the actual guest experience? How does making someone stay amazing feedback into ADR?
Oh, massively. The guide really emphasizes this. Perceived value is often driven more by the experience than just the physical space, especially in a competitive market like Kavala. It starts before they even book, with creating value perception. And number one, professional photography. It's non-negotiable according to the source.
First impressions count, right?
Absolutely.
Huh.
Photos need to showcase the best bits that see view, the traditional details, the lovely garden. Good photos instantly signal premium and justify a higher rate.
And I imagine providing real local insight helps too, not just a generic tourist map.
Definitely. The guide highlights detailed local, guides your personal recommendations for the best beaches, hidden tavernas, local tips for exploring Kavala or Philippi. That adds huge value beyond just the room.
Yeah, that personal touch.
And small things matter. Welcome amenities. The guide suggests local products, maybe some good olive oil, a bottle of regional wine, some local sweets. It creates a memorable premium feeling that sticks with guests.
Those little gestures really elevate the experience, don't they? And it's not just the welcome, it's the ongoing service.
Critically important for maintaining that premium feel and justifying the ADR. Service excellence standards are fundamental. That means prompt, professional communication, maybe multilingual if you can manage it, given Kavala's international visitors. Plus, meticulous property maintenance. It has to look and feel premium consistently.
Makes sense. Keep the standards high.
And the guide also suggests building local partnerships, connecting with good local restaurants, reliable tour operators, maybe transport services. You can offer these as added value, maybe even bundle them, making the guest's life easier and enriching their stay.
So you're curating their entire experience, not just providing a bed. That makes sense as a premium offering.
Exactly.
Okay, so you've done all this work, smart pricing, great amenities, targeted marketing, amazing experience. How do you actually know if it's paying off? How does the guide say to measure success specifically for ADR?
Right, measuring and monitoring is key. You need data. The guide points to specific key performance indicators, KPIs. RevPR, or revenue per available room, is a big one. It combines your ADR and your occupancy rate, giving a really good picture of overall revenue efficiency.
So it balances rate and occupancy.
Precisely. Also, tracking average length of stay. Longer stays usually mean higher total revenue per booking, even with a slight discount. And crucially, lower turnover costs less cleaning, less admin.
Good point. Fewer changeovers save money.
And monitor your seasonal performance is vital. Tracking how your ADR and RevPR change across Kavala's distinct seasons helps you see what's working and refine your strategy year after year.
So you're constantly learning and adapting based on the actual results.
You have to. And part of that is competitive benchmarking. The guide stresses regularly comparing your performance, your ADR, your occupancy, your reviews against similar properties in your specific area. Are you keeping pace? Are you leading? Are you falling behind?
You need that reality check against the market. Okay, for people who really want to push this, maybe they've got the basics down. What are some of the more advanced strategies the guide mentions?
Yeah, for those looking to really maximize things, the guide suggests a couple of advanced moves. One is package development. So instead of just selling the room, you bundle it with experiences. Imagine a Philippi Explorer package accommodation, plus guided tours. Or a beach bliss package in Nia Reclisa with pre-booked sunbeds and maybe a voucher for a beach bar.
Ah, creating value bundles.
Exactly. The source mentions an operator who saw a 15% ADR lift just by bundling stays with expert-led tours. It transforms the offering to something more comprehensive, more valuable, and justifies a higher overall price.
That's smart. It's selling an experience, not just accommodation. What else?
The other area is revenue stream diversification, thinking beyond just the nightly rate. Offering attractive extended stay discounts can lock in longer, stable bookings. Providing premium services for an extra fee, think airport transfers, grocery stocking before arrival, maybe concierge-style help booking things.
Upselling convenience, basically.
Pretty much. And don't forget seasonal add-ons. Renting out beach chairs and umbrellas in summer. Maybe a small surcharge for heating usage in the coldest winter months. These small streams, the guide argues, add up and boost your overall profitability per guest.
So it sounds like the big takeaway from this deep dive is that maximizing your average daily rate, whether in Kavala or anywhere, isn't just about slashing prices to fill rooms. It's way more strategic. It's about really knowing your specific market, its quirks, its seasons. It's about creating genuine, perceived value for the right kind of guest. And then it's about pricing that value smartly and confidently.
That sums it up perfectly. The source material is really clear. Focusing on optimizing ADR on the value of each booking leads to healthier, more sustainable, and ultimately more profitable rental businesses than just chasing 100% occupancy. And these principles, they really do apply broadly, whether you have a historic flat, a beachfront villa, a city apartment, or a rural cottage. Understand the niche, deliver real value, price it strategically. That seems to be the core message.
It's about quality over just quantity, really. Focusing on getting the right bookings at the right price.
Exactly. It's a shift in mindset from just filling space to actually managing revenue effectively based on the value you provide.
So here's a final thought for you, our listener, to maybe chew on. How could applying this kind of detailed, deep dive thinking, really understanding the nuances of your specific market or niche reveal hidden opportunities? Not just in property rentals, but maybe in any project or business where customer perception and local dynamics are key factors. This look at Kavala really shows how digging into the specifics beyond the obvious stuff can uncover those levers that truly drive value.